cryptic corner where the coins keep turning. Logging out, the future's burning. JJ's cryptic corner. JJ's cryptic corner. Pixels glow, charts flow. Crypto whispers, secrets show. He cracks the code on this winding road. JJ's cryptic corner. JJ's cryptic corner. JJ's cryptic corner. JJ's cryptic corner. Tune in, lean back, grab your coffee, hit the track. JJ's live, don't be late. Cryptic wisdom, seal your fate.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Monday. How's everyone doing today? Hey, what's going on, guys? We have officially reached 1,300 subscribers. Very proud of that. Pretty cool. What's going on, Philly? Yeah, lo-fi. Lo-fi is like the genre. It's very chill. That's like the genre of music. I actually listen to lo-fi like on a regular basis. If I'm like at work, at home, literally like any of my downtime, I'm listening to lo-fi. Lately, I actually just started listening to an audiobook, which sounds insane. I'm not a book person, but I want to be. It just hurts my eyes when I try to read for too long. But I've been reading I think it's called like The Secret to Building Wealth or something like that. It is called The Simple Path to Wealth. That's what it's called. What's going on, G Immortal? If you guys want, there's actually a link in the description for the book. I do get a kickback if you guys buy the book through that, but if you have like Audible or something, you can download the audiobook, and I don't think it costs anything. So, highly recommend. I think it's written by J.L. Collins. Yeah. Very simple, very Dave Ramsey-esque. Like, the guy knows what he's talking about. And it's always a simple answer. I don't know why people overcomplicate things, but I actually have a quote written down from it. Are you ready? The quote is, "Avoid debt, live on less than what you earn, and invest the surplus." That is probably the best way to simplify building wealth. You don't have any debt. You live on less than what you make. And the easiest way to approach it, in my opinion, is your daily. If you make $150, $200, $300 a day, make sure you're spending less than $150, $200 to $300 a day. And if you're like, oh, well, I don't know that because I'm billed month to month, then just do the math for the month. If you make $2, $3, $4 a month, then spend less than $2, $3, $4 a month. Billy says, so how'd you get the song written for you? Buddy of mine, now, normally I'm against this. My whole family's musicians, including myself, but a buddy of mine made it with AI. And it's kind of a pain in the butt. Like, I have licensed songs that were made by like actual performing musicians, but every time I use them, YouTube flags them, and then I got to go through the process of disputing it, so it's a pain in the butt. Anyways, Bitcoin, $92,675.90. It's trying. There's a little bit of strength here. We got a couple of nice wicks, indicative of some buying pressure. We got a green dot on our momentum wave, positive money flow. Unfortunately, we have not hit the market open yet to see what the stock market really does. Like the NASDAQ gap down, sure, we know about that. But we haven't really seen the brunt of this EU-US trade war situation over Greenland. Bitcoin dominance at 59.67. I like this wick up here. That means that people are either putting less money into Bitcoin and more money into alts, or selling less alts and more Bitcoin. Regardless, I'm an alt guy. I think we all know that. Let's go refresh the liquidation heat map. We got less than 20 minutes remaining until the daily close contest, so make sure you guys stick around for that. Liquidation heat map is telling us, what is it telling us? Telling us not too much, actually. 92,142. Bitcoin itself, 92,142. GMO said reading and listening to you. Billy said don't be against it. If that song is AI generated, I'm impressed. I mean, I just would rather have an actual musician perform the song. And I actually think I'm going to have my fiance and my daughter record it. Because they can. 90,537. So that's in the works. I got to get a Scarlett interface for the PC though. 93,279. 93,279. Once that happens, I might like accidentally fully transition to like a music channel, which would be kind of cool. 95,219. I do want to I think I'm going to try to like start a company, start a business, and document the entire process and see if we can have some semblance of success with that. So Bitcoin, we've got a inverse BART followed by a traditional BART, and it kind of settled right at the mean. Like right here, this little chunk right here between 92 and 93, or 92 and 94, I suppose. It's kind of where we're at right now. We're getting a nice wick off of that lower trend line, which is awesome. We'll see if that continues. Like I said, we got to wait until market opens to really see the impact of this situation. It's what I'm going to call a dick measuring contest between like Greenland and the U.S. It's kind of lame, I'm not going to lie. Pretty boring stuff. The repeated tariff situation. John Tujo said, what are we thinking about quant? Billy said, there's a YouTube 90s chill lo-fi study music. It's 12 hours long. Yeah, you just put it on the background, man. I like a lot of the Tokyo lo-fi. John said, what are we thinking about quant? Let me take a look at that in a minute, John. Let me get through, once I get past total 3, if I don't remember, remind me again, and I'll take a look at that for you. Bitcoin. Yeah, RSI, not quite oversold on the 4-hour. We'll see where it takes us, though. I'm liking the green dot on the momentum wave and the positive money flow in the wicks right now. It does look like we have some strength to push up if the market cooperates. ETH is down 2.82% on the day, basically erasing all of our pump that we had on January 13th, which, you know, it's only been 6 days since then, so that's not too bad, but it's still pretty bad. 31.91 and 35 cents. Are we going to hold 31.50, which is something of a point of confluence based on previous price action? You got resistance, resistance, resistance. If you go back even further, I'm sure there's a lot, but that 31.50 is a point of relevance. We'll see if that ends up holding. Like in the wicks, unfortunately with Bitcoin, Bitcoin's a lot more flat with its bounce than its wicks. ETH is a little bit more, it seems a lot more selling pressure on ETH. We do have a red dot on Market Cipher, pushing the price down. Momentum wave, not quite oversold. Money flow is positive, but that's about all we got going for us at the moment. Solana's down 3.06% on the day, back below our upper trend line, still above our neckline though, which is good. We're kind of in the middle, smack dab in the middle in between this, let's call it 128 and 138. We're at 133. So we'll see if we end up bouncing or continuing down. And if we do continue down, I would like to hold this neckline. If we lose that, then it's going to get a little ugly. But almost oversold. We were oversold for a hot second. Yeah, it's in and out. So we got a green dot on the momentum wave, pointing to the upside. Oversold on Market Cipher for sure. Money flow is negative though. And ever since we crossed below our moving average on the RSI on January 14th, along with this confirmed red dot on Market Cipher, we have trended down. So John said, oh, yep, I read that. WF Capital said, I said you're fired. Philly said, the channel is named The Japanese Town. That's probably one of the ones that I listen to all the time then. Total 3, looking very similar to Solana, which is interesting. If we're going based on this fractal, we got 2 fractals on total 3 right now. Again, none of them are gospel, but they're ideas that we're kind of just observing to see which one plays out, if any. Both of them could be still in play. The yellow would require a significant bounce soon, whereas the green, we could kind of trend sideways until about the 25th, till next Sunday. So we'll see what happens with that. Current level, why can't I go back any further? Current level on total 3, 865.76. We are down 0.8%. I really like this wick. The wick is really nice. A lot of support on alts, it seems, based on total 3 specifically. Yeah, man, it's doing its thing. We have almost like an identical situation occurring here with like a slightly deeper correction right here. But you got like 2 dips, a big dip, and then 2 more dips. If we recover right here, that's going to look really good. This will look like a very big inverse head and shoulder, which doesn't guarantee that it's going to play out. But we've also talked about this concept of the downtrend, the choppy sideways breakout, and then the eventual pop. And we've seen that play out a dozen times as well. Downtrend, choppy sideways breakout, eventual pop. And if I go back even further, if I switch to the daily, you can really see it really play out just over time. It's non-stop, and it's a very, very broad trend. Downtrend, choppy sideways breakout, pop. Downtrend, choppy sideways breakout, pop. Downtrend, we're in the middle of our choppy sideways breakout, where we eventually get a pop. Not financial advice. Our average bottom to bottom before the pop, we got 93 days, and then right here, I guess I'll go from here, we've got 70, 80 days, we'll call it 80 days, so the average is probably about 88, 87, 88 days. And right now, if you count this as our bottom, we've got until March. So we got February, March, 2 more months, 3 more months. Billy said, I realized I goofed the other day when referring to the October 10th dump. I meant the wick for altcoins. Yeah, we did not. You're right, actually. On total 3, we have not fulfilled that entire wick yet. Whoa, okay. That wick goes all the way down to 767. Okay, let me get the exact level. Low right here, 766.8. 766.8. No? What did I did I enter it wrong? 7668. 668. 1, 2, 3. And then make that a 0. Okay, there we go. Okay, text is going to be October 10th bottom. Wick. John Wick. All right, yeah, we'll keep that on the chart. Thanks for pointing that out, Philly. So what I like about this, we have not filled that yet, which is mildly concerning, and this fractal does point to us potentially filling it way back here, but we never got that, which is a little bit upsetting, and there really isn't a point where we could get it in the future without really dropping. So there might be a situation where we just don't fill that. However, zooming out like this on the daily for total 3, I do really like this confirmed green dot on Market Cipher. We got a confirmed green dot. Our money flow is negative, and again, this is just total 3, so it's just measuring the total crypto market cap, excluding, I think, the top 10, or no, just Bitcoin and Ethereum. We did get a bearish cross over the moving average on the RSI, approximately between Wednesday and Thursday last week. We'll see if that plays out. Volume did drop as well, with the price dropping here, but we got this confirmed green dot, like I said, and our RSI smack dab in the middle, consolidating, and our momentum wave also smack dab in the middle after creating actually an overbought little cloud right here. So we'll see if we either flatline or maybe we do a little dip and rip, which would be equally as welcomed as any other move, I suppose. But yeah, we'll see if we fill that wick as well down to 766. We are at 865. That would require us to lose 100 billion in market cap. But we've seen crazier moves. I mean, October 10th did happen, so if it actually does fill the wick, it would be almost be lower than the previous bear market lows? Oh, I think it would be, honestly. At the point that alts are at right now. I don't know, I guess relative to their current market cap, maybe it wouldn't be. I guess it would just be the same if you're really just taking total 3 into consideration, just spread out amongst different coins at that point. But let's see if we stay above this yellow trend line. That is mildly irrelevant. I actually prefer our horizontal trend lines. So 850 would be psychological level. Otherwise, 825 and 800. ADA is down 1.36% on the day. Broke below our yellow trend line again, but we did bounce off of 36, which is good. But losing 38 was kind of a no-go for me. So I'm I'm reaching that point where I'm just a little bit butthurt. Just a little bit. But again, we got this situation right here where we might just repeat that. And for some reason, this seems to be a recurring theme. Maybe we just do one of these again. There's like triple bottoms everywhere. Everywhere you look, there's triple bottoms. So we're kind of in the middle of bottom number 2 out of 3 in this little chunk right here. So we'll see what that equals, if it does anything at all, to be honest. We do have a green dot on the momentum wave pointing to the upside. Our RSI got a bearish cross over the moving average. I mean, technically on the 18th on Sunday, yesterday, but I would also call this Wednesday, January 14th, really the last one, because that failed attempt to get above really did nothing for us. Our momentum wave was oversold on Market Cipher, and I don't know, it's about 50-50 split between upside and downside when it comes to the indicators. SNEC is down 0.48% on the day, currently trading at 0.0008691, and losing ground. We got upside wick, indicative of some selling pressure. We also got a tweezer bottom, which is pretty bullish, but it is specific to MXC. I don't know if that's on the DEXs or not. We'll see what happens. Technically, we got bullish div, where our price is lower, but the RSI is higher. And we're talking candle bodies, so that's very specific. Yeah, I'll look at Arrow Philly. Let me go take a look at Quant first for John Tujo, because he asked earlier. Quant, 82.46, rejection at our, what is this? I guess at 88.71, which is a interim trend line that we've been looking at, based on resistance right here, it seems, and right here, and support right here. Probably even support right here, to be honest. So that 88 level, we'll just call it 90. 90 probably easier, actually. Is 90 easier? We got less than 1 minute remaining until the daily close contest, so make sure you guys stick around for that. Yeah, I don't mind 90. 90 looks fine. So we got 90 as a level of potential resistance. And our trend line right here, which we've struggled to get above. Resistance 1, 2, 3. This is 4 and 5. We are kind of establishing like a cloud of, I don't know, foundation right here, where price is lingering and the volume is increased substantially right here as well. It's really trying to break that level. So if you get above that and get above 90, then maybe you got potential to trade even higher. This is a very, very large triangle as well, symmetrical triangle even, falling wedge kind of setup. So get above 90 and then maybe even 100, and then it might get pretty spicy, honestly. Guys, we got, oh, actually, it's right now, daily close contest. Get your guesses in for the daily close contest. Ladies and gentlemen, let me get down to the 1 minute time frame. I did cut into your time by a couple of seconds, but I think you guys will survive. Bitcoin currently trading at $92,716.47. Little baby uptrend right here on the 1 minute time frame, looking a little interesting. Billy said, yeah, Quant is doing the same stuff. What is fueling this? Let's actually go see what Quant's market cap is. Number 67. It has a $49 million market cap. I mean, back in the day, that was considered a micro cap. Anything under 100 million? Oh no, that's volume. My bad. Market cap is 990, so it's just under $1 billion. Maybe, I don't know. That's a great question. Maybe they're burning supply or something. I'm sure there's some rhyme or reason behind it. Yeah, they do have a hard cap, which is good. 81% circulating. Who knows? Bitcoin 92,663 and 46 cents. We got JY's Adventure, John Tujo, and Philly coming in with guesses. Let me get you guys up on the board. $92,650. Oh, wow, that's embarrassing. I thought I hit tab. Okay, John Tujo. 92,600 and 69 cents, and Philly 92,900. Bitcoin currently trading at $92,642.49. G Immortal coming in with 92,669.94. Interesting. He kind of combined John Tujo's and JY's Ventures almost, and Philly. Anybody else? Daily close contest chance for you guys to win up to $300 every single day. It's a ton of fun. I will say, once the first $300 prize is won, which it's been over a year, nobody has won it yet, but once the first $300 prize is won, the prize might drop down back to $100. And if you guys start winning too much, then I'm probably gonna have like some other kind of setup. That pulse play out. Yesterday's winner, 92,844. Might be wise to watch his moves. He seems to have his fingers on the pulse of the market. Bitcoin, $92,612. We've got 2 minutes remaining on the clock for the daily close contest. Is it 2 minutes? Yes, it is 2 minutes. Okay. Guys, don't forget to smash the like button. I appreciate you guys for being here. We just recently crossed 1,300 subscribers. Very exciting. Exponential growth is inbound. I can feel it coming the other night. Oh, Lord. There was a crazy storm, apparently. I didn't go to work again today because, for whatever reason, they literally, our parking lot has not been plowed at this apartment yet. And Philly said you need to increase the prize money to $1,000. That'd be crazy. Parking lot has not been plowed yet, and we had to like take our van out to go get groceries. So we barely made it out of the parking lot. And then on the road, they hadn't plowed yet either. It's crazy. Like all day. And it's not even like snowing. It's just windy. Absolutely out of control. Ridiculous. I'm going to run for road commissioner. I'm just kidding. Please don't come after me. The current road commissioner, please leave me alone. $92,599.91. There was apparently a pileup on the east or the western side of the state, Michigan. You guys are like right here. This is where the pileup was, kind of. Crazy stuff. Billy said my town got 6 inches. That's what she said. Yeah, ours was mostly just wind, as far as I'm aware. That lake effect snow really battered the west coast, though. All right, guys, 20 seconds remaining on the clock. They did a good job clearing roads. Oh, good. Ladies and gentlemen, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time's up. Thank you for participating, ladies and gentlemen. Well, let's get these bad boys up on the board. $300 up for grabs once again. 92,900 for Billy Driver. Why does that seem so far away? Huh. That pulse plan coming in with 92,844, 92,669.94. G Immortal. JY's Adventures with a 92,650. And last but not least, John Tujo with 92,600.69. Tom Selleck said, "Oh, we so effed Bitcoin, ETH, and everything else is dog poo." I concur, my friend. But that is not the concern at the moment. John Tujo is in the lead with the daily close contest. Currently guessed $92,600.69. Nice. With a Bitcoin price of $92,632.75 and pumping. That pulse player said, he is the GOAT after all. Indeed. He is the GOAT. 92,632.75. Tom Selleck's GOAT in the chat. John Tujo in the lead. JY's Adventure closing in. John Tujo's gap medium sized. That pulse player with a slightly larger gap, it seems. JY's Adventure with the smallest gap on the board. If he does win, it will be the most impressive. Philly, the largest gap on the board, considering the fact that the price could technically go up infinitely. And the second largest gap on the board is nobody. Because from 0 to 92,600, there's nobody. Bitcoin getting a little bit dumpy. Is no one going to win today? We've got 2 minutes 45 seconds remaining on the clock. Billy said ETH held up well, though. Honestly, everything kind of held up well, including Bitcoin. Like, all things considered, the size, the sheer scale of this geopolitical, skirmish is definitely not reflected in the markets as far as I'm concerned at the moment. Like, we've definitely seen worse. October 10th was like nothing. It was like, oh, China and the United States are tariffing each other, which is like the gayest sentence in the world. Xi Jinping and Trump are just like, I'm going to tariff you. No, I'm going to tariff you. I'm going to tariff you so hard. You're going to have so many tariffs. John Tujo still in the lead. We've got 1 minute, 53 seconds remaining on the clock. Bitcoin dropping. Is it going to drop so far that nobody wins the daily close contest for the day? $92,606.78. John Tujo said 2.5% isn't a bad dump. Dump for ants. $92,618.63. Tom Selleck said, what I mean is only buy Bitcoin and ETH. Nothing else is needed. It's all penny stocks, and they're all going to zero. Tokenizing, stock market, and just doing it with stables. No chain benefiting. Oh, that's what I've been saying was going to happen from the beginning. Everyone's like, what chain is this going to go on? What chain is that going to go on? And I've been sitting here like, they can just copy-paste any chain that they want, because all the decentralized ones are like public. I forget the term. Open source? Ladies and gentlemen, 60 seconds remaining on the clock. Bitcoin currently trading at $92,618.63. Why would I, as Wall Street, take on the liability of Vitalik Buterin or Charles Hoskinson or whoever the hell Solana guy is, or CZ from Binance? Why would I take on the liability of any of those random people when I could just build my own chain from scratch, because I have the money for it, and guarantee my safety, or at least hold 100% liability, not be asked later, why did you hand the keys to Wall Street to this random person? You know what I mean? Bitcoin, $92,630.99, 21 seconds remaining on the clock. John Tujo still in the lead, but anything can happen. It's very close to JY's Adventure and GE Immortal. 15 seconds remaining on the clock. Are we going to see something crazy happen here? We do have a green dot and positive money flow. 10 seconds left. This is it, ladies and gentlemen. The candle that will determine the fate of our winner. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, there it is, ladies and gentlemen. John Tujo is the winner with his guess of $92,600.69 and an actual Bitcoin daily close price of $92,631 even. $92,631 even. $92,631 even. Congratulations, John Tujo, on your victory. Ladies and gentlemen, spam the bananas in the chat. John 499. If you would like to participate, there's a 10-minute window. So we start at 6:50 p.m. EST, and then at 6:55 p.m. EST. That is a hard cutoff, and we do not accept any more guesses after that point. And it's completely free to play. If you nail, like if John Tujo had guessed 92,631 even, he would win $300 right now. If he had guessed 92,631 and 1 penny, he actually would have lost, because his Price is Right rules, closest without going over. if he had guessed, like if the actual close had been 92631 and 55 cents, and he just guessed 92631 even, then he would win 20 bucks. So those are the rules. Look at that big fat green candle. The 1 minute time frame is so much more fun. Look at that. John Tujo, 92,669 cents. But yeah, it's a ton of fun. Feel free to spread the word. We're trying to get to 2,000 subscribers before April. Or before the end of April, I guess I should say. Give myself a little more runway there. That would be pretty cool. And like I said, it's completely free to participate in the daily close contest. So all you gotta do is be subscribed and smash the like button. Congratulations, John Tujo, once again on your victory. Yay! Very cool. Transition back over. Very cool. Ladies and gentlemen, spam the bananas in the chat for our winner. All right. Tom Selleck Scout said, and you're telling me Bitcoin is 90K, so if I buy one and it doubles, then I make 90K? No one getting rich off this. Exactly. Oh, 100%. Philly said, oh, damn. 92,900 was a bad guess. I didn't think it would go lower. Those that got here late need to listen to the beginning of the show. JJ's new intro song is dope. Tom, that's why alts make you rich if you get a good entry. Altcoins die every single bear market. Altcoins are dead. John, let me add you to the winners Google Doc. Technically making sure that we maximize participation for January in the daily close contest by not going to work, which is not great because my income is suffering. Let's see. What else was I going to do? The daily close contest has concluded. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, drum roll, please. The winner of today's daily close contest with a guess of $92,600.69. Nice. And an actual Bitcoin daily close of $92,631 even on January 19th, 2026. Mr. John Tujo's prize is a delicious plate of lasagna. Congratulations, John Tujo, on your victory. Normally, I would recommend sharing this with your friends and family, coworkers, your employers, your employees, if you own a business. But today, I am not going to recommend that because lasagna is delicious. It is share-worthy, but this one I would keep for myself because I'm a selfish Italian man. Whatever you do, you are legally obligated to remove it from the premises. Congratulations once again on your victory. Enjoy. John Tujo said, are the stock market about to dump and precious metals about to go crazier? I actually think so, yes. Billy said, what's John's prize? Make it cheesecake. We already got a big, fat, delicious serving of lasagna. Damn, I would love that lasagna. Eating king cake for dinner tonight. Nice. Okay, let's continue going through the charts, guys. Midnight, down 0.07% since the daily close. We got a big fat wick indicative of some buying pressure. Big fat wick indicative of some selling pressure. Support at 54.52. Resistance at 64.08. What's going to break first? I don't know. A lot of volume coming in on that big fat green candle. Wow, that was a really messed up line. The wick resulted in a lot of volume. You got a green dot oversold on that momentum wave on Market Cipher, resulting in a nice push to the upside. Kind of right at the mean again, and your RSI sitting smack dab in the middle as well. So consolidation has happened. Resistance apparent at 64. Getting above that's going to be key. Otherwise, we're going to continue to break down. XRP is up 0.22% on the day, currently trading at 199.03. Closing below $2 was not a good thing. That was actually very, very bad. Getting back above $2 is going to be very important for XRP. It actually closed Sunday below $2, I believe. Yeah, not good. However, this candle with this enormous wick, that is a beautiful reversal candle. You got a huge wick to the downside, very small wick to the upside, small candle body. That's a nice reversal right there. We'll see if it ends up playing out in our favor. Obviously, we have geopolitical tensions. The stock market is not open at the moment because of Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Happy Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Is it a happy day? I don't know. Are we allowed to say that? 4-hour time frame, 199.03. I'm very ignorant when it comes to a lot of history, so forgive me. H-bar up 0.07% on the day. Nice wick to the downside, indicative of some buying pressure. Slight reversal. Looks like it's trying to get back above 11.5. It's holding 11, which is good. Staying above that's going to be ideal. We do look like we might be encountering some resistance on that relative strength index. Green dot on the momentum wave point to the upside after being oversold. We'll see where that takes us. We might not even be... Oh, it just recently crossed back into safe territory, so it's not technically oversold anymore. We'll see if it ends up there again. At the end of the day, regardless, RSI is consolidating very nicely, and we do technically have a higher low here. So the trend is still intact for H-bar potential reversal. Tom Salk said, gonna buy the living hell out of a good dip if we get it. Robinhood overnight opens in an hour. Will be interesting. I like that they call it overnight, and it's closed. John Tujo said, I was wondering what the hell we are supposed to do on this holiday. Like make a certain food or watch a made for TV movie about MLK? What the hell are we supposed to do? You observe. Which means I think you just like watch. This is us celebrating. Like any holiday that doesn't like make like Valentine's Day is kind of the same thing. Like I guess you're supposed to go out on a date. But what else is there? What other weird... There's like weird federal holidays. National Cat Herder Day, Bubble Wrap Appreciation. That's not weird. Well, I'm looking for federal holidays, bro. Earth's Rotation Day, Earth Day. Earth Day is another one. Earth Day is random as hell. There's Tax Day. I don't know. There's so many random holidays where you're like, what are we supposed to do on this day? Earth Day, maybe like plant a tree. I don't know. Philly said, does anyone know which altcoin V wicked down the most? No. Actually, yes. It was... Oh, shoot. The one about the stars. October 10th. Let me look it up. Hold on. Altcoin went to 0. What is it called? Atom, thank you. ATOM. It's not about the stars. It's about, like, microscopic crap. Columbus Day. Yeah, Columbus Day. That one's another stupid one. Was it? I'm not allowed to say that, actually. Tony Soprano would beat the hell out of me. That's, like, a really funny joke in The Sopranos. They freak out about Columbus. They're like, who cares about Columbus Day? And he's like, what are you talking about? Because Christopher Columbus was Italian. Yeah, Philly, I think Atom, ATOM, I think it went to 0, and I believe one single entity purchased 30% of the supply when that happened through a buy order, which is freaking insane. SWE is up 0.01% since the daily close. We are currently trading at 156.83, broke below 169, broke below 162, held 154, which is impressive. We'll see if this reversal ends up playing out or not. If it does, I would actually constitute that as this move right here on our wick. Or not our wick, our fractal, which would be entertaining. And it gets down there, recovers, and then it slowly bleeds down there, which is usually how these play out. Recovers again, one more time, and then pops. This beautiful inverse head and shoulder is what shakes a lot of people out. People think, oh no, it's a lower low, and then they're like, okay, it's recovered. Oh, it's a lower low, it's going to bleed out, it's gone, it's done, whatever. And then they buy back in right here, thinking, oh, I'm an idiot, it's recovered, they're going to send it now, finally. And then one more time, they get out, they're like, F this, I'm done. And then it goes bam. And they don't even have time to react every single time. Because when they sell right here, they're really mad. They walk away. They're like, I'm not going to look at the charts for the next 24 hours. Well, 24 hours is all it takes for them to shake you out permanently and make you feel like an idiot for selling your bags. I'm not saying that's going to happen. If that does happen, though, that'll be why. Because people get emotional and ignorant and they peace out. The book that I've been listening to, which again is a great book, The Simple Path to Wealth by J.L. Collins. There is a link in the description that I do get a kickback from if you guys want to buy the book. But again, the audiobook is free if you have Audible. Or if you have Amazon Prime, I think you can get it for free, like one free Audible book a month. The guy talks about how simple everything is, and with the stock market and investing in general, there's ups and downs, and you can go through a crash and sit through it, and the market still recovers and continues up. Like, the broad trend is always up. The market always goes up. There's always going to be a 2000 dot-com bubble, or a 2008 financial crisis, or a pandemic. There's always going to be crashes like that. Every single time, the people that panic and sell, no matter where they panic and sell, they always end up the losers, because the price eventually goes higher over time. And if it doesn't, and he explains this, he said if it does not, if it crashes and it doesn't recover, then no investment is going to be okay. So taking your money out isn't going to help you regardless. So it's silly for people to panic sell. Unless you're like right at the precipice of retiring and you don't want to wait another 10 years, you should not be bothered. Philly wants to take a look at Arrow. Yeah, Philly, Arrow's on the list. You only got 2 more to go. So we'll see if SWE recovers. The $1.50 is going to be a big psychological level to hold, so it looks good here. It is incredibly oversold still on RSI and on the momentum wave on Market Cipher. We do have a green dot on the momentum wave pointing to the upside, so we'll see if that results in some recovery here. Ondo's down 0.32%. This thing's kind of in the crapper, I'm not going to lie. Really, I mean, I like the increased volume, but that coming with decreased price, usually not a good thing. We'll see if that results in a reversal anytime soon. We don't even have bullish div. It just looks really bad for Ondo right now. Arrow is up 0.24% on the day. You got your double bottom and your double top, and it just reverts to the mean, your WM. And I don't know if it's coming down to retest that midpoint. Actually, there might be a pattern here for Arrow. Not financial advice, but if it gets a bounce off of about 45, between 44 and 45, there's potential here. You did get a bearish cross over the moving average in the RSI on Wednesday, January 14th, in which it failed to reclaim above that moving average, and it continued to trend down where it became oversold. Oops. And it just crawled out of that oversold status. You do have a green dot in your momentum wave, which was also oversold, still is actually, on Market Cipher. So we'll see if that results in a bounce. You are also sitting right below 50 cents, which would be a big psychological level. Losing that, not a great thing. We'll see what happens. I'm going to skip around. Avalanche down 0.31% on the day, currently trading at 1270. Nice big fat wick right here, indicative of some buying pressure. Whoops, I almost dropped my phone. Almost got below this, which I don't want to get below. I want that to be like our established floor, almost support, we'll call it. Can I make a rectangle? How do I make a rectangle? Yeah, give me a rectangle. I want a rectangle here. So, whoops. I want this to be, I guess we'll call it an accumulation area, but I really just want it to be like a block of support. I don't want to get into this at all. And if we do, I would love to wick into it and then immediately come out of it. That should be our like seller. You don't really go in the cellar. You go down there to like grab some junk. And then you come back up and you enjoy the party. We want to enjoy the party, man. We don't want to like linger in the cellar like weirdos. So holding above this, we'll call it 12.6 level, is going to be important to me. Losing that, it's going to get a little spicy. We do have a green dot on the momentum wave pointing to the upside, which is still oversold. Negative money flow on Market Cipher, and RSI is about to cross over sold again with this current candle. We're sitting at 1270. Like I said, hopefully 1260 can hold. Chainlink down 0.08% on the day, currently trading at 1287. Nice wick on this as well. Beautiful support bounce at 1239, which we were just recently at in most of December. So getting back down there, again, it's not the end of the world, but it just stinks to witness, you know, this suckage, we'll call it, for so long, and then we climb out of it finally, and then we lose all of that momentum just from one stupid headline. We were building so much good growth here, and it was going to continue. But, you know, we're not going to go to the moon tomorrow. Even if you look at our breakdown, chop, sideways breakout, and pop, which is very relevant on Chainlink as well. Again, when I zoom out, I realize how psychotic my charts look, so I apologize in advance. We have a downtrend, We have a sideways choppy breakout. We have a pop downtrend. We are in the midst of our sideways choppy breakout, which from this one, last one, bottom to bottom, 78 days, way back here, bottom to bottom, 91 days, so it's shortening. So if we assume that it's going to go between 50 and 70 days, we are currently on day 58. So 70 would put us at January 31st. And if you go to 90, then you're mid-February. So we'll see January, February. If we're still looking bad, then we're probably in a 12-month long bear market, typical to the 4-year cycle. And we're looking at October for a bottom reversal. And like I said 1,000 times before, coming out of the bear market, the 2021 to 2022 bull to bear market, coming out of that 2022 bear market into 2023 and 2024, I made more money than I had ever made in my entire life. So that is what I'm looking for if we are entering the typical 12-month long crypto bear market. John Tujo said Ondo is supposed to be the tokenization coin. Maybe they're pushing it down to make it look less appealing. That's another thing, and I've talked about this in great detail as well. I keep looking at these and I'm like, this looks like crap. It's not doing good, which, you know, it doesn't. If it's experiencing tremendous weakness and there's like almost no signs of a reversal, it doesn't look good. But nothing ever looks good before it actually like slingshots and properly recovers for the next bull market. Ondo at one point was 20 cents. It's at 34.74 right now. So it is getting down to its like all-time lows. What did it launch at? Did it literally launch at 0? Launched just above 0, it looks like. This is on Bybit. Okay, so it listed on Bybit at around 1 penny. Maybe that was the launch price, who knows? So it's up, it's still, for those initial investors, it's up 34.7x, which is huge. But again, if you believe in something like this, this is a tremendous buying opportunity. I personally see no reason to accumulate this simply because every time it goes down, it finds another reason to go down. But I'm not a huge Ondo guy. So that's just me. I like the coin, I like the project. I have some. Will I be accumulating more? Maybe. It's reaching that level where I might just throw money at it just for a gamble, but at this point, it is just a gamble for me. Manuel Manny Vera said, Ondo does nothing, just a meme. I mean, they all are, technically. Nobody really cares about DeFi. Look at the banks are trying to shut down yield on stablecoins. Like, that's literally as simple as DeFi gets. And they're trying to shut that down. Tom Selkscott said, Baron called daddy and said, dump it. That's what I mean. Everyone was like, oh my gosh, this whale, he knows something. He has $1 billion long on everything. That's usually what they do. They'll, and this is conspiracy territory, so forgive me, but the powers that be, they set somebody up with like $1 billion, and then the $1 billion guy opens up a trade, and then they let the guy win. He wins the trade. He has, let's say, $100 million, and he gets a 10x. Now suddenly he's a billionaire. Everyone's like, oh my gosh, let's pay attention to this guy because he knows how the market moves, because he made one good move. And then everybody watches that guy, and then that guy opens up a bunch of longs right before Trump wants to acquire Greenland. And everyone's like, oh my gosh, the whale opened up $1 billion in long positions. And then Greenland, huge collapse. You know, Bitcoin's down 10, 15% in a day. Everyone's losing their minds. And that whale is not being talked about at all, suddenly. Suddenly the whale, the prophet, has no idea what's going on, and he lost a bunch of money. It's unrealized, but now everyone's suddenly really quiet about that guy. You know what I mean? It would be so easy. And there's no way that they don't just manipulate the hell out of us through headlines and social media. It's way too easy. Philly said, I had an arrow short and it did really well after the other day's wick. I closed it out. Very nice. Hell yeah, Philly. All right. Silver. Silver's up 4.03% on the day, currently trading at 93.72. I think silver's going to $100. Let's do a poll in the chat. Start a poll. Will silver reach $100 before February 1st in the US? Yes or no? Do you guys think silver will reach $100 before February 1st? Now, I will say, we did just touch this $93 level back here. It's taken a couple of days. From January 14th, we climbed down, we had a little double bottom action. Now we're kind of slowly grinding up. There's a very clear tell here. This is like 45 degrees, and this is like 40. You know, it's like a lot more of a calm angle. So, I don't know. RSI is resetting as well, so that technically makes bearish divergence right here because our RSI is lower while our price is higher. Tom Selleck Scout said silver hits 100 tomorrow. I actually agree with you. We called it too before the end of January 2026, $100 silver. So we'll see what happens. Currently trading at 93.68. RSI looks good. Like I said, we got bearish dip, but that hasn't meant much for quite some time. It's been very much just a hedge entirely right now. Gold currently sitting at $4,665. We have nothing but sideways on gold. And quite interesting. RSI doing the same thing as silver. You got bearish dip technically, so red dot on Market Cipher as well. Let's see if that results in some significant downside. And I like these little, whenever it gets down, boop, little green dot, little green dot, little green dot, every time. It's kind of funny. ISM Manufacturers Index, which people use to measure the business cycle. We don't get that data until, I think, February 1st or February 2nd. I believe tomorrow the Fed starts to inject liquidity into the market, so there might be some weird mixed bag. I don't know if obviously the liquidity injection isn't going to be like directly into our wallets, but it is something to keep an eye on for sure. DXY 99.045. We are potentially rejecting 99.5. Can we lose 99 and continue to the downside? Or has strength really returned to the dollar, and are we going to see significant upside from here? We got some semblance of a potential, I would call it a fugly inverse head and shoulder. We'll see if that even plays out, if you can even do TA on the DXY. And if you do, will it reject 103.5? I don't know. MicroStrategy, aka Big B Coffee, 1.64 in the green at the last close. Again, I call it is actually MicroStrategy or strategy, but their logo, for some reason, they changed their logo and it looks just like the logo for Big B Coffee. So I call it Big B Coffee now. 174.22. We'll see if this bounce continues off of 167 or if this bad boy is going to gap to the downside. Philly said a 12-month bear market wouldn't be the worst thing. Hopefully more lows and better entries. I don't know. I'm sick of more lows and better entries. We've been getting more lows and better entries for 4 years now, man. A fifth year, like I said, wouldn't be the end of the world, but it would. I would definitely be vocal about it as if it were the end of the world. Like, whenever I get sick, I'm instantly dying. It would be like that. Everything would be miserable and boring and stupid. And if we're in the middle of it right now, then I'm not really aware. So that's good. Hopefully it stays that way. And we just coast the whole time with me being like, well, maybe tomorrow. And then eventually October, November hits and we start going up and I'll be like, oh, I told you guys. See? I told you it wasn't that hard. Like the cope. The cope is so heavy. Anyways, NASDAQ. Let's see if this bad boy continues to the upside from here. Or if this is the Dumperino. Maybe we get one more little dip before the rip. Let's see. I'm going to talk. We're going to Monday open or Tuesday open. And then boom, negotiations are underway. They're going good. Negotiations are going bad. And then boom, we made a deal. That's my guess. That is my guess right now. So let's copy this. Copy. Paste. I'm going to leave this right here. And I'm going to actually label these things. I'm going to go Tuesday. Open equals bad. And then right here, we're going to go Tuesday/Wednesday. Negotiations. Going great. And then Thursday, Friday. Negotiations going bad. Oh no. I put this. And then a deal is made. A deal is made. Hooray. This is what I'm thinking right now for the market. So we'll see what happens. It's going to be entertaining no matter what happens. But for now, we will stand in observance. Tom Selleck said, no, it would be horrible. You want to take profits from this cycle to buy those lows. There are no profits to take, Tom Selleck. I don't think it would be horrible. S&P, there are no profits to take, man. S&P 500. Ass fractal 3.0, if you will, down 0.06. See what this opens with. It's probably going to gap down. Do we have stock market futures? Stock after hours. Stock market. After hours stock quotes. We've got Dow down 0.91%. S&P down 1.9%. So technically speaking, the S&P is going to gap, is it 1.9? 1.09. Down to 68.50. 68.65. 68.65. We're going to go with open on Tuesday. January, is it 20th? Yes. That's our guess. Based on CNN after hours. Pahid said, like the stream, subscribe. Thank you, Pahid. And that is that. Bitcoin dominance 59.66. Bitcoin itself down 0.24%. Congratulations, John Tujo, on your victory. Enjoy your big fat lasagna. Fahid, when lasagna? Lasagna is so ridiculously expensive to make. My mom doesn't even make it anymore because it's expensive. Alright, so I asked Grok some questions earlier. Like I said, I've listened to this audiobook, The Simple Path to Wealth by J.L. Collins. Highly recommend you check it out. There's a link in the description that helps out the channel. I get a kickback if you buy it through that. But if you have Audible or Amazon Prime, you can get it for free, the audiobook. But if you want the physical copy, link in the description. Helps out the channel. He was talking about the stock market and just very simple means to build wealth. He said, avoid debt, live on less than what you earn, and invest the surplus. Now, when you do that, he was talking about the stock market. A lot of people think you got to time the market, you got to do it, you got to know all this. You don't have to do any of that. Me, I'm 32 years old. I just started investing a couple years ago, and it's not too late. Everyone's like, oh, it's too late for me. That's like a cop-out. It's like a coping mechanism. I asked Grok, what is the average annual return of the S&P 500? Just for simplicity. Grok did the math. The lower average is 10.6%. Or I'm sorry, 10.4% over the last 30 years. And then I said, if I put $150 into the S&P 500 a week, $150 per week, so $600 a month, into the S&P 500, how long would it take for that money to turn into $1 million? Take into consideration the fact that the average return of the S&P 500 is 10.4% annually, and that interest is compounded into the already building $150 a week. To determine how long, blah, 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 Grok did the math. Basically, after just 26 years and 5 months, you would have $1 million. 26 years and 5 months. So if you're 25, 24, great, you can retire at 50. If you're 30, 40, maybe contribute a little bit more. But it's not impossible. It's very simple. You just need discipline. Don't live above your means. Avoid lifestyle inflation entirely. And anyone can do it. It's really not hard. And you don't have to live like the people from those like cheapskate shows where they like brush their teeth in the same water that they like collect from their shower or something disgusting, you know, like the guy that has no furniture. You don't have to live like those people. You can enjoy life on the way. Bitcoin 92,485 and 99 cents. We got news segment, guys. Don't forget to smash the like button. I appreciate you guys for being here. This was interesting from an investment standpoint. I've been thinking about this for a while. I personally don't drink, and it's not for any reason specifically other than the fact that I like to have control over my body and my mind. But I'll have a beer every once in a while. I just don't like getting drunk. I think alcohol companies are going to be in a lot of trouble very quickly because the younger generations are not drinking. Derek said in 26 years and 5 months, we'll have $1 trillion bills like Zimbabwe. That's awesome. Alcohol companies are sitting on huge stockpiles as demand keeps falling. Five of the world's largest listed spirit makers, Diego, Pernod Ricard, Campari, Brown Forman, and Remy Cointreau, are holding about $22 billion worth of aging spirits, the highest inventory level in more than a decade. So, if you're like me and you don't drink and you think maybe the next couple generations won't drink, this might be a good short. I'm just saying, not financial advice. Next, this one was just super interesting. Kamchatka in Russia, it got this much snow. I thought that was crazy. I was like, damn, I feel like I don't have to go to work if it snows like a couple inches. These people literally can't leave their homes. That's freaking crazy. And these are real. People are editing these pictures, but I believe that this one is real. Maybe not this. This might not be real, but like going up to the second, third, fourth story, that's insane. That is so crazy. Oh yeah, apparently Congress is moving to make daylight savings time permanent, which would permanently screw my daily clothes contest, but that's fine. Cryptos R Us, George posted. This is great input. Crypto's Trump moment is over. Animoca Brand's co-founder Yet Siu says the market overbet on politics, especially the Trump effect, and that era of rioting headlines is fading. He argues 2025 was hyped as a Trump year for crypto, but policy noise, tariffs, macro regulation didn't deliver price outcomes. Traders treated crypto like it was a first priority for political tailwinds, but it wasn't. 2026 is shaping up to be about real utility, compliance, and institutional entry, not headline chases. His point is that easy narrative trade is behind us, and the next leg will be driven by products and use cases, not politics. I agree. The market is maturing. Record high college degree holders now unemployed. Four-year college degree holders now account for a record 25.3% of U.S. unemployment, double the rate in 2008. Over 1.9 million degree holders aged 25 plus are unemployed, highest level ever recorded. We need protection from AI. That's what I've been saying. I don't think that it's ever going to happen under the Trump admin. But I do believe in the future we will be looking at something similar to like every company that utilizes AI to remove jobs is going to have to keep, they're only allowed to remove like 10% of jobs, or they're going to have to keep 50% or something like that. They're allowed to like pay employees half as much, something. There's going to be some weird regulation put in place to prevent everyone from losing their jobs to AI. It's going to be weird. This one was really interesting, and this goes to show how quickly things can change. This guy said was over 50K in debt at March 2020 and had $100 in my bank account. With zero assets, the government had a scheme that allowed you to withdraw your 401k with no fees. So I withdrew 10K and put it into crypto. So this guy needed 10K and he had 10K. So that's, I guess, a crutch, we'll call it. Made over $5 million over the course of the year, leverage trading and the Uniswap casino. I cashed out the majority. Now I'm debt free, bought a house, millions in the bank, and got married. Life got flipped upside down thanks to crypto. Forever grateful. This right here, this is why we do it, man. It's unattainable to an extent, like to think that everyone can live like this, that everyone can score this big, but it is possible. And it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. So cheers to that guy. Gold reached a new all-time high of $4,650. Bitcoin fell under 94K. Still under 94. Bitcoin fell under 93K. Still under 93. $525 million worth of crypto longs were liquidated in the past 60 minutes. That was literally yesterday. China's GDP grew 5% in 2025 despite trade war with the U.S. $100 million wiped out from the crypto market cap in the past 12 hours. This right here, this is what I was talking about, I think, at the beginning of Trump's term. When I said, I bet you they're colluding. I bet you Trump called him up and was like, hey, we're gonna act like we're gonna tariff the shit out of you, and a bunch of Americans are gonna like scramble to order as much stuff from you guys as possible. You guys have to play. You have to play hardball and pretend like we gotta play it up, play up the political theater. And Xi Jinping was like, "All right, let's do it." And they're both like, "I'm gonna tariff you," back and forth. And then everyone's like, "Oh shit, we need to order all the iPhones and ship them here now. Get all the iPhones here now. Every single thing that's made in China, we need to order several years worth right now." And they did that. So China's GDP grew 5%. And there's no trade war with China. What do you know? So it's all political theater. They're all scratching each other's balls. $100 million wiped out from the crypto market cap in the past 12 hours. That was 20 hours ago. That's pretty crazy. New York Stock Exchange to launch 24/7 U.S. stock trading through new on-chain tokenized exchange. Very cool. OpenAI to launch its first device this year, probably because they're hemorrhaging money. BlackRock CEO Larry Fink says capitalism is losing public trust and must evolve. How the hell is capitalism going to evolve, bro? And also, what is the alternative to capitalism? That is my question. Odds of the United States acquiring Greenland this year reached a new all-time high on Polymarket. It is currently sitting at 22%. That's crazy. United Kingdom at risk of recession due to President Trump's tariffs, The Telegraph reports. Dang. Treasury Secretary Bessent says Federal Reserve independence does not mean no oversight. I like that. That's good insight. Trump tariff legality ruling update. Speculation points to a possible release soon, potentially as early as Tuesday, January 20th, or in coming weeks, given the expedited schedule and high stakes. Supreme Court has comment periods but do not have to comment on any case and don't publish what they will comment on, so it remains uncertainty over time, or over the market. In his opening speech at Davos, BlackRock CEO Larry Fink says capitalism is losing public trust and must evolve. In my opinion, bullish. During his opening remarks at the World Economic Forum annual meeting in Davos, Switzerland, he's warning that global capitalism faces a legitimacy crisis because prosperity hasn't been broadly shared, leaving too many people behind, fueling populism. There we go. Institutional distrust and anxiety about the economy. He argues the system isn't broken beyond repair but must evolve to expand access to markets and capital, democratizing ownership and opportunity so more people benefit from growth. I agree. It's the first thing I've ever seen Larry Fink say that wasn't batshit crazy. Bitcoin approaching 60 days of accumulation. Look at the last accumulation zones. 62 days, 62 days, 62 days. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 62, 62, 62, 58, 59. Interesting. We had 58 days. We had 58, now we're at 59. Either we go further contraction or expansion, up or down. Very cool. Thank you, Party. Kobayashi later posted, stock market futures officially opened for the first time since President Trump announced 10% tariffs on 8 EU countries, demanding an acquisition of Greenland. S&P 500 down 0.7%. NASDAQ down 1%, Dow Jones down 0.5%, gold down up 1%, and silver up 3%. It's going to be an interesting week. This was yesterday. Then we've got gold futures surged to a record high of $46.60 per ounce as markets react to President Trump's new 10% tariffs on EU countries. Gold continues to tell the future. Silver surges above 94 an ounce for the first time in history, now up another 31% in 2026. This historic run is accelerating. Bitcoin falls nearly 4K as 500 million worth of levered longs are liquidated in 60 minutes. U.S. tariff revenue surged 234% year over year in 2025 to a record $264 billion, up $185 billion compared to 2024. In December alone, tariff revenue jumped $21 billion or 300% to $28 billion. This followed $31 billion recorded in November and October. In the second half of 2025, tariff revenue averaged $30 billion. At this pace, tariff revenue will rise to $360 billion in 2026, up another 36% year over year. Tariff revenue is surging at an unprecedented rate. Number go up. Maybe we'll all get those stimmies and it'll offset some of our really harsh losses from the crypto market being absolutely stomped on by literally everything else. Oh, I just realized I was on top chat over here. That's awkward. Waterfly, I bet JJ wearing a black shirt. JJ is wearing a black shirt, and it's Spider-Man. I think I might have to get up on something in order for you to see it. This is the part of the stream where I fall down, and I go viral for falling down. Are you ready? I'm going to do it. This is what I get for getting a stand-up desk. Here we go. Okay, Spider-Man. I'm an adult man. Yeah. Okay, I'm getting down. Oh, God. Okay. Did you like my shirt? Bitcoin, $92,700.63. Excuse me. U.S. stock market futures extend their decline with NASDAQ 100 futures down 1.5%. We are now on step 5 of our tariff playbook. If you guys have not read it yet, go check it out. Kobe SE letter, I believe it's pinned. It is the President Trump exact tariff playbook, step-by-step guide. We actually went through this the last time Trump did the tariff thing with China, and it literally, word for word, was the exact same thing. So they've had this since like the first time it happened. They've had this playbook, and it plays out every single time. President Trump sent a letter to Norway's prime minister saying he no longer feels an obligation to think purely of peace because the country decided not to award him the Nobel Peace Prize. Trump says this is behind his decision to take control of Greenland. That's kind of petty. I'm just saying. President Trump's full letter to Norway. I no longer feel an obligation to think purely of peace, but can now think about what's good and proper for the USA. Trump is doubling down on Greenland. Step number 6 of our tariff playbook is beginning. This one is freaking hilarious. China's first response to Trump's tariffs, or to Trump's demand for U.S. to acquire Greenland. We urge the United States to stop using the so-called China threat as a pretext to pursue selfish interests. They're like, stop saying that. It's so funny. It's like when you're with your friend, and that one friend... Uh-oh. Please reconnect. Oh, are we reconnected? We rugged for a second. Are we good? I think we're good. Good? I think we're good. Okay, we're gonna proceed. U.S. natural gas prices extended gains to plus 19% on the day, now on track for the biggest daily gain since October 2024. The volatility we are seeing in commodities right now is insane. This was just at its low, I think. President Trump is asked if he will follow through on new tariffs on 8 EU countries over Greenland. Yes, I will, 100%, Trump says. Step number 6 of our tariff playbook has arrived. The Shanghai silver price premium over Western prices is up to a record $11 per ounce. The gap has quadrupled over the last few weeks. By comparison, previous record was plus $7, or about $7 an ounce in 2011. This comes as Shanghai silver prices jumped to a record $105 an ounce, while Western silver prices are at a record $94 per ounce. Such extreme premiums indicate severe physical silver shortages in China and massive domestic demand that cannot be met. Furthermore, export restrictions from China, where silver is widely used in electronic vehicles and solar panels, have squeezed the global market. Physical silver demand is out of control. Tom Saltzcoat said muted. Never mind, it was me. Appreciate you for the update. The Heat said, hey, Philly. Derek said, things have been glitchy today. I think there's a big solar storm. There is, actually. And where I live in Michigan, we're supposedly going to be able to see the northern lights, which I'm excited about, because I've never seen them in person. But I have seen them on my Apple TV little screensaver thing. It's really pretty. Very pretty. So far, 88% of you guys, we got 8 votes. 88% of you guys think that silver will reach $100 before February 1st in the United States. Next, U.S. fund inflows are skyrocketing. If you guys are new, please subscribe, smash the like button. I appreciate you guys for being here. We did just recently cross the 1,300 subscriber threshold, which is pretty sick, so I appreciate you guys. U.S. fund inflows are skyrocketing. U.S. equity ETFs have attracted a record $400 billion over the last 3 months. Inflows have doubled since August 2025 and now exceed the April 2021 high by $177 billion. January inflows into these funds are now running at 5 times the average rate. Meanwhile, leveraged long ETFs now hold $145 billion in assets, an all-time high, while funds betting on market declines only or own just $12 billion. Just as a result, bullish leverage bets now outweigh bearish ones by 12 to 1. The highest on record. Risk appetite is through the roof. Appetite for risk. We actually joke about that all the time. India is stockpiling silver. This one was interesting to me. India's silver imports spiked to a record $5.9 billion over the last 4 months. This marks a $400 or 400% increase since Q4 2024 and is now 64% above the 2022 peak. By comparison, imports averaged $1.5 billion per year from 2013 to 2019. India is one of the world's largest silver consumers, with demand driven by jewelry fabrication, investment in physical silver, and rising industrial use in electronics and solar energy applications. Meanwhile, India's Nifty Metal Index, that's what it's called, it's kind of an adorable name, which tracks major metal and mining companies, is having its best start to a year since 2018. As a result, the Nifty Metal Index to Nifty 50 ratio, stop it, is up to the highest level in 11 years. As metals significantly outperform the broader market, India's silver rush is accelerating. The Nifty 50? What? Waterfly said Mike keeps cutting. Does it? That sucks. That's probably why I'm losing so many viewers. I don't know if there's anything I can do about that. Hang on. Let me see if I can fix it for you guys. Okay. I don't know. Let's see if that's better. This one cracks me up. Elon Musk asks Ryanair how much it would cost to buy the company. I really want to put Orion in charge of Ryanair. It is your destiny, he says. What is the propaganda you're not falling for? Ridiculous. Silver prices surged to a record high of $94.68 per ounce as US-EU trade tensions escalate, up 33% year to date. Silver has already hit 5 record highs in 2026. We're only 19 days in. What if I said nope? Nope as in like it didn't help? Okay, I'm going to unplug the mic and plug it back in. You might never hear from me again after this. Ready? Am I back? Are we good? How's that? Let me know if that's good. We're going to continue now. Job openings for U.S. economists are falling? What do they mean? Like they're not hiring any more economists? That's a weird metric. Job openings for economists dropped 21% year over year in December 2025 to 1,773. The lowest. Am I the only one paying attention? That's entirely possible, Waterfly. The lowest since at least 2019. This marks the 3rd consecutive annual decline. The weakness was broad-based across sectors, with full-time academic positions dropping 33% year over year. At the same time, federal government job listings dropped 71% year over year to just 24. The number of job openings in business and finance has also weakened for a 3rd year. As a result, total available vacancies, it's broken? Oh, is it like completely broken? I don't know what to do. Can you refresh the page? I can't fix it if it's broken, man. I'm going to go to default, whatever default is. We're again, and switch again. How's that? Sound good? It looks ugly. Hello. Okay. Where was I? The number of job openings in business and finance has also weakened for a 3rd year. As a result, available vacancies for economists are 43% below 2019 pre-pandemic levels. The economics job market is experiencing one of the worst downturns in history. That's crazy. I've never heard of someone being an economist. I didn't know that was like an actual job that people paid for. Am I crazy? Japan's 40-year government bond yield surged above 3.87%, the highest level ever in history per bar chart. That's crazy. Tokenized assets are the fastest growing crypto sector, with stablecoin market cap surpassing 307 billion. Wow. South Korea Customs Services uncovered a alleged $101.7 million crypto laundering operation using cross-border wallets and bank accounts. I wonder how they figured that out, actually. That's quite impressive. Bullish, Fed to deploy $55.3 billion tomorrow through February 12th via bond reinvestment and reverse purchases. New York Stock Exchange is moving toward 24/7 stock trading, powered by an on-chain tokenized exchange. Sailor said Bitcoin never takes holidays. Bitcoin is back in fear at 44 on the Fear and Greed Index. Let's actually go check that ourselves. I can't type. I really can't type. I'm struggling. Fear and Greed Index. There we go. All right, 32. Wow. Yeah, I thought it was weird that we got so high already. We went to 61. We were in neutral. That's too much. So it makes sense that we fell right back down. We did talk about this the other day. The Fear and Greed Index right now, and I know everyone's looking at the previous bull market. Everyone thinks that we're right here, but if we're going just based off the Fear and Greed Index, we're actually right here, and we're getting ready to go up again. So if you want to be nerdy about it, then I can out-nerd your nerd with my copium that I'm not fully convinced of myself, but I will still act like I am. And then CoinMarketCap. Let's actually go over here. CoinMarketCap's Fear and Greed. Bam. 45. Yesterday was 49 neutral, so we're still quite neutral. If you guys haven't already, check out Kalshi. If you're into prediction markets and you sign up with the link in the description, we both get $10 when you start trading. Just help out the channel. Only if you want to, though. Treat it as gambling. Kalshi is literally gambling. So treat it as such. You gotta respect it. Next. Bullish digital asset flows turned positive with 2.17 billion in weekly inflows, the strongest since October 2025. What happened in October 2025, you say? Interesting. PancakeSwap approves a proposal to adjust Cake Max supply to 400 million. Very cool. This is like the 18th time this has happened, but it's still news. Silver has flipped Nvidia to become the second largest asset by market cap. Pretty sure that happens like every other day now. Cool stuff, though. Revolut has applied for a full banking license in Peru, expanding its push into Latin America. I've heard a lot of good things about this app, so might be worth checking out if you guys are in another country. I don't know if it's available in the United States, though. OpenAI plans to debut its first AI device in the second half of 2026. I'm not entirely sure what that would be, but that's neat. They got I don't remember who it was. Razer, I think it is. They make like mice and headphones and mics for gaming. They have a Goon Tube, which just has like a little chatbot, like anime chick inside of it. That was pretty cool. Anthony Scaramucci says banks are blocking yield on stablecoins, pushing emerging markets toward yield-bearing systems. Bitcoin's 7-day average hash rate fell below 1 ZH over S. I'm not sure what that means. Zeta hashes, maybe. For the first time since September 2025, highlighting rising pressure on miners as AI competes for power and manufacturers expand proprietary hash rate. That's going to get very interesting. If Bitcoin price drops, there might be a lot of miners going offline. So I might be buying myself a lottery miner pretty soon here, actually, to potentially capitalize on that. I think that'd be pretty sick. But I mean, if you think about it, if you're paying so much for electricity and you're not really getting a great ROI because the Bitcoin price keeps going down, wouldn't you pivot to AI at that point? You have this gigantic, basically, data center with all of these GPUs running the Bitcoin mining algorithm. You could just pivot to AI and just rake in the bank right now, technically, a little more of a safe paycheck than the Bitcoin price. Just saying. Next, we've got Grant Cardone. Cardone Capital says it's adding another 10 million in Bitcoin as part of a long-term real estate and Bitcoin hybrid investment model. Very cool. Bermuda is building the world's first fully on-chain national economy backed by Coinbase and Circle. The strongest Coinbase premium gap selling in recent periods suggests U.S. whales, not ETFs, are driving the current sell pressure, a pattern seen repeatedly in the past. How's my audio? Is my audio good, guys? I just want to make sure I'm not talking to a wall. According to Polymarket, there's a 30% chance the U.S. Supreme Court rules in favor of Donald Trump's tariffs. I do have a bet on Kalshi, actually, that they are going to rule in favor of tariffs. I think it's too much of a mess to rule against them. And I have utilized AI to converse and, I guess, reaffirm my bias, which AI is very good at doing. Oops, didn't mean to click that. Next, I thought this one was kind of weird. Justin Sun says that if he could spend 1 hour alone chatting with Elon Musk, he would be willing to pay $30 million. And I don't know why. Does he want to try to sell him something? Like, Justin Sun has money. Why is he paying money to, like, talk to rich people? You know what I mean? Does he need friends? It's kind of sad. Steak and Shake disclosed a $10 million Bitcoin purchase after rolling out Bitcoin payments in May. Absolute legends. This one was very interesting. Mike McGlone, senior commodity strategist at Bloomberg Intelligence, warns Bitcoin may be entering a long-term mean reversion with risks of a move toward 10K after its 2025 rollover. I don't know where this guy is getting this information from, but damn, that would be crazy. The silver squeeze wackos were right about everything. We got Bitcoin taking a poo-poo and silver taking a pump. Very interesting. Bitcoin supercycle is not impossible. What if this time is different? Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. I've been saying that this whole time. We got bear market 1, 2, and 3. 3 mini bear markets, followed by 1, 2, 3 mini bull markets. We're about to get a 4th mini bull market, followed by the 4th mini bear market. I'm just saying. That's my opinion. It's not really an opinion, it's just an idea. But thank you, Tom Selkscope, for confirming. Trending Bitcoin posted anytime you think of selling Bitcoin, remember this guy. Bitcoin down to $270 a pop. So glad I didn't buy in on that mess. That was in 2011. Somebody said, is this guy still alive? He's still alive, but dead inside. That would suck so bad. That's what I mean, man. It's too easy to just, like, literally at this point, right now in time, abandon that investment. Just, if you're really choked up about it, me personally, I'm going to keep dollar cost averaging, but I'm not even going to think about it because I don't need the money right now. It's for a long term. At this point, I have no choice. It's going to be a long-term investment. I'm not trying to cash out tomorrow and buy a house with it. If it eventually flips and I can buy a house with it, then I probably will. But for now, we got nothing. So I'm just waiting. I'm pretending that money doesn't exist. When I get paid, the money that I dollar cost average into crypto, I'm donating it. It's gone. And then in a year, in 2 years, 3 years, when the market's recovered, and I could buy a house or retire, great. But for now, it's whatever. I'm waiting. Literally in waiting mode. This guy said buying copper in 2026 is like buying Bitcoin in 2009. Few understand this. So I've been seeing a lot about this copper trade argument, and it's got me thinking. I'll get into it. There's a couple more posts till the one that I want to reference, but the copper trade is interesting to me. Trending Bitcoin said the next chapter of Bitcoin will shock the world. That'd be pretty crazy, wouldn't it? The cross and then the explosion. 400K. Woo. This one right here. Finland successfully transmits electric power through the air without using physical wires. Now, this has been a concept since Nikola Tesla, probably even before then, to be honest. Imagine a world where, let's say you got a bar of copper, let's say you got a pound of copper, and everybody needs this. They need this pound of copper in their electronics and everything in their walls of their home. And it's so ridiculously expensive for some reason. We can't produce it fast enough. It takes a long time to like open mines or whatever. All that weird, all the supply crunch reasons why everyone thinks copper is going to go nuts next. Imagine you could eliminate that with wireless electricity. I'm just saying, it's definitely a concept that's already probably in practice if we're being real. But that would be the best way to reduce cost over the long run, in my opinion. If you just make it wireless, that would like insane decrease in the need for copper if it was done right. So all it takes is a breakthrough like that. I'm just saying. Bitcoin Archive posted Elon Musk's X reveals Bitcoin is one of the most searched cash tags on the platform. What else do we got? Iren, Tesla, ASTS, Bitcoin, ONDS, XRP, GameStop, NBIS, Open, and ETH. Interesting. Okay, so a couple of crypto. A couple of crypto coins on there. Trending Bitcoin posted the whole timeline, says it's over, but data says Bitcoin's going to 200K next year. Wouldn't that be crazy? I like that fractal. I like that fractal. What fractal is that? Is that just this? I think it is. And then we've got Ray Dalio saying it's now happening. The existing fiat monetary order, the domestic political order, the international geopolitical order are all breaking down, so we are at the brink of wars. Below, he shares the signs of coming currency collapse. Interesting. Tom Soloscote said I'm down 1% on overnight open. Dump for ants so far. So here's my question. Is any of this going to affect the Fed? And I don't know. It's interesting to me because they're gonna be like, oh, tariffs again, because they've been singing that tune for forever. 2026 through 2027 will be epic for Bitcoin. I like that we're already planning ahead and thinking that 2026 isn't going to be that great. Where are we starting from? What's our starting point? Is that 2026? So far, gold, silver, and global liquidity have skyrocketed, and Bitcoin is lagging behind tremendously. We will see what happens. We've got King Pia. Crypto is dead. We've been waiting for a bull season for 5 years, but I think it's finally time to give up. After Donald Trump became president, the entire altcoin market went through a slow rug pull. Every day it drops more, destroying our psychology. There are altcoins, ones that could be considered major, that are down 99% in a single year. A 20 to 30x crash. Trump is attacking everything, and because of this, altcoins keep falling nonstop. Every day, 10% disappears from my pocket. I'm exhausted. Guys, this is why diversification is important. Because when one asset class does really, really bad, you don't want that to be your entire nest egg. Your entire existence. Well, it's a really bad time for crypto right now, so my life is just miserable. That's the worst way to think about things. That's the worst way to exist. You have to diversify. I don't care that crypto looks like crap right now. It sucks. I'm impatient. I'm not a patient person at all, but I'm using it. You build bags elsewhere. Stock market's doing great. Silver and gold are doing great. Build a stock portfolio. Build a stack of silver and gold, man. Don't do any of those things. Maybe you just want to contribute to a savings account. You don't have to do the crypto thing. You don't have to be, and if you do, that doesn't have to be the only thing that you do. And people are like, oh, well, I only have like $50 a month to contribute. So what? Put $10 in 5 different places. That's more than enough. That is more than enough. It compounds, it accumulates. You'll be happy over time that you did it. I'm not a financial advisor though, so don't take any of this at face value. Saeed said, hi, sir. What's going on, Saeed? Happy Monday, my friend. Mr. Crypto Whale. Saeed said, getting late because of change in timing and morning prayers. Ah, interesting. Cheers. Morning prayers. I just hit my coffee on my screen. Whoops. Delicious. Okay. 2026 bull run timeline prediction from January 15th, which was 4 days ago. January accumulation, February breakout, March altcoins, April Bitcoin all-time high, May classic bull trap, June liquidation cascade, July full bear mode. Save this and let's revisit in 6 months. I don't think we looked at this one, but it's very similar to the other ones that we have looked at. So we'll see if it plays out. We'll see what March, April looks like. Crypto X large posted Bitcoin 15.4 to 126K, ETH 900 to 4950, altcoins minus 20% to minus 80%. This is why 90% of people are depressed. They mastered buy, they ignored hold. Wealth is built by survivors, not spectators. I think that's true. 2026 is paving the way for altcoins. Chart Nerd posted this beauty. We got 1 year, 1 year, 1 year. Extended cycle diminishing returns would actually argue in favor of this chart. I'm just saying. History doesn't always repeat, but this kind of setup has a way of bringing altcoin season. Altcoins are about to 30 to 70x from this point. Are you bullish enough? Now, this is literally that crazy, out of control, like batshit fractal that I talk about and joke about all the time. We have it on here somewhere. I don't remember if it's a USD chart, maybe. Hang on. No, Coinbase USD chart is the one that we have. Normal, Bitstamp. Nope. Index. Is it index? It might be index. Hang on. No. Crypto. That's the one. All right, so that, can you guys see this? This hump right here is very similar. Oh, geez. What have I done? Or it is actually, I copy pasted. It is just this. And when you zoom in, you can really see it. That little bitty hump. If you go down to the daily. Okay, where am I? I'm lost. Hold on. Yeah, look at that. Go down to the daily. Extended cycle diminishing returns. And how many people in 2020 from July to September of 2020 thought that was the bull market? That was the bull market. That's it. Pack it up, boys. It's time to go. Time to go home. That's it. Just this little itty bitty. How many people thought that from start to finish? That this 45-day little pop, little balloon. They're like, oh, extended cycle diminishing returns. That's it. Let's go. If you guys didn't take profit, you're an idiot. And then Bitcoin literally went on to humiliate those people, absolutely destroy their reputation, and pump 524% within 1 year. So I'm not saying, like, that's not my argument for being like, that's why this is real. That's just a great example of what happens every time everyone thinks that they know exactly what happened, or what's going to happen, or what has happened, and what can happen in the future. They're usually wrong. Everyone's insisting right now that we are repeating last bull market, and they might be right. But if they're not, it's going to be hilariously spectacular. This psychotic fractal, and I'm fully aware that this is probably never going to happen, but this crazy fractal points at us potentially reaching a valuation of $1 million before 2029, which is in 3 years' time. That's crazy. And that's actually January 2029. So technically 2028. We'll talk April 2028. So in 2 years and 3 months, will Bitcoin be at $1 million? I don't know. If it is, though, I promise you, when we hit 250K and pull back to 195K, 186K, everyone's going to insist that the bull market's over. And this is just, again, I'm not saying this is going to happen, but if it does, when we hit 600K and pull back to 400K, everyone's going to insist that the bull market's over. And then when we hit a million, not even a million, I'm sorry, when we hit 900K and pull back to 600K, bull market's over. When we hit 950 and pull back to 750, bull market's over. And then when we hit 1 million and pull back to 712, bull market's over. Eventually, when we hit 920 and pull all the way back to 412 and they say the bull market's over, they're probably going to be right. They're probably going to be right. Our broken clock is right at least twice a day. And I have 1,000 fractals, so I'll be right multiple times a day, which is pretty cool. Anyways, congratulations, John Tujo, once again on your victory. Enjoy your beautiful lasagna slice. Bitcoin, $92,607.57. Tom Selleck Scout said, I really want it to be hilarious, spectacular. Like, yes, it makes me money, but I care more about how funny it will be. That would be so freaking hilarious. Dude, the amount of bears, like today, I think that the bears far outweigh the bulls, but there's a lot more potential bulls that have never even touched the market. That if that did happen, they would enter, and those bears, that quantity of bears, that population of bears, would probably hardly change. There'd be like 5% outliers that would be like, uh-oh, maybe I should go back to the other side and buy my bags. And then they do, and then they'll capitalize. They'll make so much money with us. And the bears will be like, you traitors, I can't believe you went and bought Bitcoin. It's going to zero. Asshole. And all the new people. It'd be great. Tom Selleck said, guy never gets tired of stretching lines to fit his narrative. That's the way of life, man. You have to, it is up to you to stretch the lines to fit your narrative. Entirely. You forge the path for your life. Let's move on. Another reminder from Tech Dev. We are at the point in the business cycle, this is from January 15th, so 4 days ago, where bullish div reversal momentum is decidedly building, which has signaled every one of its major reversals in the last 25 years, including after the year 2000 and 2008. Since Bitcoin existed, those reversals have triggered its parabolic runs. So, it's probably going to happen again. The ISM Manufacturing PMI Index, which essentially measures the business cycle, will determine if we enter expansion or continue in contraction. And we don't learn of that until February 1st or 2nd. Billy said, transmits electricity over the air without running wires. They're full of crap. How wouldn't the electricity affect people or affect the body and plants? I don't believe it. Billy, look up Nikola Tesla. How do you think lightning happens? They just direct it. It's just directed energy. They probably use lasers. Bar chart posted silver soars to $94 for the first time in history. Gold jumps to a new all-time high. Bitcoin, timber. Bitcoin took a big fat dumperino from 95.5 to 92.5. Womp womp. Japan's 40-year treasury yield jumps above 3.87%, its highest level in history. Here's my question. Why would you ever buy anything that you couldn't touch for 40 years? That sounds crazy to me. Am I crazy? This one cracked me up as well as the last one. Michael Saylor in Bitcoin, and he's just eyeballing silver. Ooh! That was pretty good. Silver probably saw that, and he did the Pikachu, the shock Pikachu. He's probably like, oh! Or the Richard Simmons one where he's like, good stuff, man. Good stuff. All right. Ladies and gents, I believe that is it. Bitcoin, $92,716.47. Very quiet day. We'll see what the market open brings. Silver at $93.49. Are we going to hit $100? 75% of you guys said yes. We had 12 votes. I asked you guys, will silver reach $100 before February 1st in the United States? 75% of you guys said yes. So, 9 of you guys? 9 people said yes, 3 people said no. Interesting. All right. Dominance, 59.72. Probably going to continue to increase. We'll see what happens. Congratulations, John Tujo, once again on your victory. Enjoy your lasagna. Ladies and gentlemen, this is where I'm going to love and leave you. I appreciate you guys for being here. Happy Monday. As always, when Bitcoin or the rest of the market starts to do anything crazy, I will hop back on. Otherwise, I will see you all tomorrow. Don't forget to smash the like button on your way out. Happy Monday and good night.